was there. And it was amazing how many people, Skip Lisman this is, who he still found he knew from Newport.
Yeah.
He used to run an organisation in the next door building that we own and lease to him called Swan River Sailing.
Okay.
Which provides corporate sailing opportunities, team building, that sort of stuff. But he retired from that only 18 months ago. And he'd never stopped passionately sailing from the America's Cup period.
Wow.
He was a little wiry fellow that managed to get up the mast fairly easily. There's nothing on him.
Speaking of the masts, is it out here?
We've got two of them. That's one.
Yeah.
And the other one's down at Freedom.
The Australia too.
Yeah. There were 3 masts off her. One's obviously on the boat.
Yes.
In the museum. I think this was called the number 2 mast.
Okay.
And the other one's down at Frio.
Speaking of Newport, we just got Gary Jobson is moving the National Sailing Hall of Fame to Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just bought
good place to put
a building and it's moving up there. So
good place.
Yeah, it's funny because I found a quote from him about Fremantle, which I'm going to have to ask him about when I get back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Fremantle waters were unsuitable for racing back in the day.
That's his opinion.
That's it. As an Englishman living here in Australia and watching it from across the world, any thoughts on, or you hearing anything on thoughts on the possible discovery of the Endeavour?
We've seen bits of press, but not very much.
Yeah,
to be honest, we should see more.
Well, it's funny going to press conferences there.
Given that we built the bloody replica of the sodding thing here in Fremantle, and that was a major achievement.
Yeah, they think they found it just off the coast, right near the Newport Bridge.
Is it very deep?
Not at all.
Oh, really?
No, not at all.
Oh, so it's...
Yeah, it's in between Goat Island and as well as Newport, and they sunk 7 or 13 ships around the harbor during the wars, hoping that boats coming in would get tripped up on all their masts.
Okay. Right.
And I guess the Endeavour got repurposed, and Lord Sandwich, and is said to be down there.
Wow.
A lot of Australian media was there for the last press conference, and I hear something else is coming.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, one of my favourite parts of the world in England is up on the East Coast, where, of course, Captain Cook had his residence.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Great. Well, did we miss anything here from Royal Perth Yacht Club? Anything else that you'd love to share with the...
We're a great club.
Yeah?
I have a passion for it.
What do you got? 500-600 members?
For it. 2,000.
2,000?
Yeah.
Only so many boats still. Other people come for the bar?
Yes, socially.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many actual outport, as we call them, country members, whatever you like to call them, we have. Quite a few.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the unique things that we've found, we have reciprocity with a lot of yacht clubs around the world. And significant clubs like New York, like Royal Thames in London, Hong Kong, and so on. And that's an enormous attractant to people joining this club, because they know if they're travelling, say, to London, they can go straight to Royal Thames. It's got cabins, accommodation, just like New York. They can stay there in a friendly environment. That is a huge benefit to being one of the sort of clubs in that group.
Yeah.
You can go almost anywhere in the world, whether it's Singapore or San Francisco. Although San Francisco or St. Francis don't have accommodation, as you would know.
And do you guys do the small little...
dinghies? Yeah.
Dinghies and...
Oh, yeah. That's a very important part of our programme.
I was going to say...
Because that's where we bring the children through.
We see all these yachts here in Perth and Fremantle and Newport, any city on the water.
Yeah.
And, how do you get people from seeing $1 million boat to realizing that they can get in to the sport for peanuts?
I'm sailing today because the school holidays start next week, and there will be. But we use the International Optimist class for beginners.
Yeah.
And we'll start kids from the age of 7 in those. And from that programme, they will often migrate into, I suppose more commonly, lasers.
Yeah.
and we've produced a number of world champions in lasers. We've got one at the moment. He's ranked number 2 in the world.
Wow.
He's going for the Olympics, and we think he's got a damn good chance.
Great.
He's only young. He's 21, I think. 22,
Yeah.
one or the other. Good sailing family. So we try to provide a pathway for kids, and one of our goals is to then take them from sailing tiny dinghies through lasers, through 420s or whatever it might be, but then trying to get them into keelboats.
Yeah.
And for that reason we have, you can see these yachts here with a grey boom
Oh,
cover.
yeah.
We've got 6 of those, and we use those for keelboat training. So we'll run learn to sail keelboat courses in them,
Yeah.
and they're out pretty well all the time. They hardly ever stop. They're an 8-metre New Zealand design, Bakewell white. They're actually over 10 years old now, so we're going to sell them next year and replace them with 6 new ones, because they just get so much use.
It's so important to get them young for the future of membership,
Well,
for the future of sailing.
it's important to get them young, but it's important to have a boat on them, and the word for them I use is with sex appeal.
Yeah.
You can't take them out in a 25-year-old design clunker. They're not interested in that.
Yeah.
They want a sports boat that performs, that's exciting and exhilarating, but hey, they haven't got the money to buy one.
Yeah.
So that's fine. We own them, and
Okay.
we put programs together for them.
Yeah.
And then, when they've got a mortgage, got a family, and developed their career, hopefully they'll then not want to leave the sport, and they'll go and buy their own boat.
Wow.
That's our theory.
That is a theory. And then you need the recreational people.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
So yeah, we try and cover it in all ways, and we run a lot of these, as you can see, Etchells classes,
Yeah.
which are international. In fact, we're doing the World Championships next year in
Wow.
Fremantle out of that site.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
That'll be an
Etchells
exciting time.
World. It is. We'll get 60 to 80 yachts for that, because some of the big boys, because Dennis Connor still sails in it.
Yeah.
Some of the big boys they're only a small yacht,
Yeah.
but they'll bring 2 containers with them. They are serious.
It's good for that
Oh.
town of Fremantle.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
From a race management point of view, it's a bloody nightmare. That's our problem. We
Yeah.
have to sort that out.
That's it.
I mean, you can't start that many yachts on one line. You've got to have a split line,
Yeah.
because you can't see them. Easier a bit nowadays with drones,
Yes.
which we're using quite a bit here for training and so on.
And are you able to do a lot of the sailing close to shore where people can watch it from shore?
Yes and no. There's not much public parking adjacent to the shoreline, so even if we're running, as we did 6 weeks ago, whatever, a international match racing event, yachting isn't a spectator sport. We have to face that. You don't sit in a grandstand and watch yachting. But some people watch, but they're the keen ones. When I say you don't do it from a grandstand, I'll show you what we did in Fremantle a few years ago. In 2011, we Perth, because it was a joint effort by a number of clubs, ran the World Sailing Championships down there.
Oh, great.
1,100 yachts, all different shapes, sizes and so on. That was how we did the world.
That's a dockage.
That's the World Disabled Sailing Championships that we also ran. Here we are.
Yeah, look at that.
We did actually put a grandstand up, because this is the annex.
Yeah.
In Fremantle where you went. We actually put a grandstand up
Wow.
for watching the finals. But it was a huge event. It was just massive.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 competing yachts.
Awesome. And with that phone call, that pretty much ended our sit-down conversation with Stuart Walton out there on Australia 2 Drive in Crowley, Australia, chatting from the Royal Perth Yacht Club. He then took me on a tour of the club, and we went up into the bond room, which is where they celebrate all things America's Cup. And in the photos I will include in the story on whatsupnoop.com, you will see a photo of that metal plate in the floor that Stuart talked about of when in 74, the Royal Perth Yacht Club called the New York Yacht Club and asked them what size the bolt was on the floor because they had some Aussies coming to take the trophy. Just a great story. There's some great artifacts that you'll see in the photos. One of the things that Stuart pointed out when we were taking a tour of upstairs is it's one of the only sports where the president handed over the trophy. And there is a great photo and letter from the president handing over the trophy there in 83. And just fascinating to chat sailing. We chat about it a lot back in Newport with our great organizations and our great yacht clubs, and of course Sail Newport and Volvo Ocean Race and everybody that makes Newport the sailing capital. It was interesting to get a different take from an Englishman here in Australia at one of the most historic yacht clubs in the world, one of the oldest yacht clubs in the world, arguably one of the most successful with what they were able to accomplish. They won an America's Cup. Well, they won one. They lost several others. But in what they are doing to promote sailing on this side of the world is very similar to what is happening on just about at every yacht club and wherever people may be sailing across the world. For more information about the Royal Perth Yacht Club, I invite you to head to rpyc.com.au and you can find out all about them and see some photos as well. Of course, this podcast, as well as all our podcasts, are going to end up on Spreaker.com first, where it will be downloadable via iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and many other places, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And we'll also put it up there on whatsupnoop.com with a little story as well as photos. So be sure to check that out. Podcast up first, and then story will be up as soon as I complete that. And you heard that I will be sitting down and chatting with John Longley. That will be the next episode here in our podcast series that we are refreshing, and we'll carry on as soon as I get back home. And we'll be chatting about with people, interesting people and profiles back home. John Longley, who will be our guest on our next program, is a veteran of 5 Australian campaigns for the America's Cup, including 4 straight cup matches. He won the cup in '83. And after his career as a 12-meter class sailor and team manager, he contributed to the America's Cup by participating in the development of the America's Cup class. His involvement in '83 Australia 2 campaign marked the high point of his career as a yachtsman, and Longley helped skipper John Bertrand select the crew for Australia 2. He choreographed the team's actions. In addition to his contributions on the water, Longley served as Australia 2's project manager, and he booked the campaign's day-to-day operations and did all of that. And then at age 41, Longley retired from the Cup sailing after completing one final stint as manager and grinder for Australia 4 in the '86 Cup. But his contributions to the Cup did not end there. Following the contentious '88 match, Longley co-authored the San Diego Protocol, which established the challenger's rights in their method of challenging the defender in orderly manner. '84, Longley was made a member of the Order of Australia for his services yachting. He is currently serving as the ISAF Sailing World Championships, which were held in Fremantle in 2011. He has worked on the replica of the Endeavour, which is based here, and we will chat with him. It will be an interesting conversation about sailing Australia 2, as well as what he thinks of Endeavour being there on the bottom of the harbor, Newport Harbor, that is. Again, my thanks to Stuart Walton for his hospitality at the Royal Perth Yacht Club, as well as everybody at the Royal Perth Yacht Club for a great visit and chat and tour. And they were friendly, and they were happy to see somebody from Newport, Rhode Island, and it was an exciting day. And again, be sure to check them out, as well as check the photos out on whatsupnoop.com. That's going to do it for this edition of What's Up Podcast with Ryan Belmore. Thank you for tuning in. Please share with your friends and family, maybe even your enemies. Till next time. Take care.